mean, let's just put this out there. Aren't the only people targeting this poor girl the news media? Like with Edgar, wasn't it everyone kind of anonymous? And yes, a victim, but at least like a private minor one before the journalists showed up?
There's an important question to be asked about whether this, the meme brand of targeting, is less professional, less preferential than this, the mainstream media brand of targeting.
Because this kind raises awareness about the specific individual, whereas the meme mocks and disparages people with Down syndrome in general.
I mean, but there's also something to be said about saying this girl's name and announcing her hometown and explaining to her that she is at the center of this meme and then having her pose for a picture with it.
And then there's also this guy.
And of course, they're cruel, sadistic sometimes, and absolutely offensive. The more abusive, the better.
Clearly this is complicated. But also clearly, this guy, what the fuck? Rushing onto the front yard of a burning house and shouting like, fire, fire, does not make you an expert in flames.
The shame of this is that the question and context are interesting and actually really important.
And a thing we need to figure out, but this was just handled so poorly by everyone.
And like we said, the internet loves that, so it only got worse.
Drop the potato.
Which makes us feel really bad for this poor girl.
But maybe not nearly as bad as we feel for Lisa.
To be a man, you gotta toe the line, and as long as you're able, we'll do just fine. Now my baby should only have eyes for me. I know there's some girls you wanna see. Well, that's when my 3-second rule comes into play.
3-second rule is an easy comparison to Rebecca Black's Friday.
So that's exactly what we're going to compare it to.
Both 3-second rule and Friday are another brand of hilarious mishap we seem to treasure.
It's not a person getting injured or someone's unfortunate encounter with bullies, a la Mrs. Slaughter or Miss...
We're not going to call her Miss Potato.
It's the kind of media which only results in the complex and oftentimes very long process of fame-seeking.
Which, and we want to be clear about this, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
A great many well-loved and respected pop stars have risen to a kind of impossible stardom regardless of the existence of media, which at the time of its creation seemed to predict no such future.
What are we doing tonight here?
Dance party, U.S. fucking A, man.
One look and I'm done. One glance from your eyes and I'm captivated.
That's Lady Gaga, you guys. That's Lady Gaga, you guys. That's Lady Gaga.
So, we'd like to say that it is in celebration of Lisa's future fame that we all experience a great fondness for 3-second rule.
We'd like to say that. Instead, we'll say that if there's anything that is clearly communicated in this video,
And the music video for Friday, for that matter, it's that Rebecca and Lisa are both having a great time. They are totally owning and embodying their experience.
And in a weird way, this offers some kind of vicarity for the rest of us. I mean, cringeworthy or not, these videos are being seen by thousands, millions of people.
and that's pretty cool. They should be proud. There are worse problems to have. Problems like hot girl problems.
Hot girls, we have problems too. We're just like you, except we're hot, 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 hot. The world needs to open their eyes and realize we're not perfect and sometimes we lie.
So the most interesting part about this video is that the women starring in it and ostensibly responsible for its production
Have refused all credit for its creation, claiming that it was made as a favor. It would appear as though these girls, Drew and Lauren, might be embarrassed at their creation.
Embarrassed, you say? Cue the news media.
Hot Problems is an overnight internet sensation, thanks to nearly 2 million YouTube viewers and counting.
We knew that we couldn't actually sing.
Yeah.
So we decided to go for more of a talking singing.
Yeah.
I just wanna have fun.
Critics call it the worst song ever.
Critics.
Girls say I'm conceited on behalf of all hot girls.
I heard Pitchfork gave this a 6.
You could have written a song about anything. Why about hot girls?
We wanted something funny to show our friends. We really didn't mean anything from it.
Do you think you're hot?
We don't think we're that hot, no.
I feel bad about how I look. This is like watching lambs go to the slaughter.
It's almost predatory. The real news story here is this new kind of weird, limited fame, which seems to be precipitated by embarrassment.
Where in the olden days of the internet, we had something called FAMO.
A kind of limited fame realized as the result of becoming an
Internet
sensation.
You know, like our man Bear.
Oh my God!
Where you at, Bear?
Or our homegirl Maggie Bond.
We now have something that's like FAMO, but instead of owning your internet achievement,
Instead of carpeing that diem, you remove yourself. You refuse it.
You shove it off because you are embarrassed. But you are embarrassed in the sightlines of millions of people.
you are the embarrassed version of famous. You are fame-embarrassed. You are embarro.
No. No.
Fame-barrassed. Oh.
Nope. Nope, not that one. Shamo?
Shame-o.
You are shame-o.
Shamo. Shamo is embodied in the distinction between Rebecca Black or Scumbag Steve.
Both of whom managed to take their reasonably embarrassing situations and turn them into something awesomely positive, fun, and exciting for themselves.
And people like Hot Girls with Problems or 3-Second Rule Lisa, who instead of accepting they're hilarious and bad enough to be awesome again and celebrated for that reason, not because we're mean-spirited, shame-o, assume a diminished responsibility for their work. Or, worse yet, delete it.
So I guess it makes sense. It takes a really specific kind of person to shrug off all those YouTube comments, all those dislikes. When the red part of the bar is bigger than the green part of the bar,
It can be crushing. It's true.
It's not like there are that many good guys on the internet. We all know Good Guy Greg, and we all know he's a good guy.
and for that matter, we probably all know Bad Luck Brian.
And of course, our old pal Steve. He's a scumbag. These gentlemen and the rest of their friends have formed something of a congress of internet culture.
We see them in roughly the same locations at around the same time.
We see them occasionally banding together in support of a conversation and, yes, disagreeing on some finer points.
There are even some members which we might consider elder statesmen of the bunch in more varieties than one, actually.
And, of course, the freshman members of the group, fresh-faced, ready to change the world. Actually, now that I look at this, it kind of looks like Big Bang Theory more than Congress.
So a bunch of pretty much empty characters based upon one-dimensional stereotypes.
Telling essentially the same jokes over and over again. This leads us to wonder,
Well, what would it look like if these meme guys actually did all live together?
I mean, and what would it be like if we had prepared like a short theatrical dramatization
Some
of
theater,
what it
maybe.
would
Some theater. That's so everybody get ready.
interior? What would it be like if Good Guy Greg was all?
Some friends are doing a show about internet memes in Boston, and I would love to go support them because I'm a nice guy and a good friend.
And then Hipster Cop is all, fuck that noise. I was busting memes for loitering on message boards back when Gen May was still something people talked about, and that sounds boring.
oh, and then Neil deGrasse Tyson is all, looks like we got a badass.
I am a meme, and it kind of sucks. I think I'll pass.
I'll go with you, Greg, but can you give me a ride and also pay for my hotel room when my girlfriend is coming with your... He doesn't talk like this at all. I really should have prepared. But can you watch my sister for me? Okay, thanks, bro.
I would go, but has anyone really ever been so far as decided to even use Taco Bell? I'm hungry.
Shut up, Tan
guy. Hey, what's everybody fighting about?
And scene.
Scene. So this is a dream that we have.
That the internet can live in peace. Maybe not necessarily in the same house, but like
In peace, no more feuding, no more raids, because like we've said...
The internet isn't really funny anymore, or it's at least less funny.
Which means the resources are scarce, which means we're going to need to work together to survive off of what we do have.
In effect, this means 4chan, it doesn't matter if Tumblr stole your memes.
Besides, we know that 60% of you have Tumblr accounts anyways, so just fucking chill out. Just chill out.
This means Tumblers, you gotta get all not high and mighty when your Facebook friends post old memes on Facebook. It's cool, just unsubscribe, walk away. Just walk away, man.
This means that even though, yes, 9gag sucks and is dumb, it doesn't matter.
Basically, what we're calling for is an internet armistice.
We know it's hard. We know it's hard. There are a lot of bothersome people on the internet.
Here, Steve.
The internet is growing larger every day, and with more folks identifying as being not only from the internet,
but also from specific parts of the internet, there's a kind of damaging potential energy in this strange and willing hostility.
The internet is leaking, showing up more and more in the real world, and if for no other reason than to protect its promise,
and to protect the things we love so much about it.
Like an emphasis on open content and freedom of culture and freedom of information.
Like collaborative processes, distributed tasks.
Like alternatives to top-down cultural models, and maybe most importantly, alternatives to current knowledge distribution models.
We owe it not only to ourselves as experts and believers and practitioners of those things,
but also to the rest of the world, the people not from the internet.
To fulfill the promise of the internet so that they can experience the amazing, wonderful, and life-changing things we already think of as givens.
But guess what? They're not given. Instead of fighting about who stole whose memes,
we need to make sure we focus our energies and continue fighting people who want to make sure that there are no more memes to fight over.
And that, my friends, that is definitely...
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Can we do a little bow?